Welcome to NFL Week 16 of the Sports Phenom Show, the best damn sports betting show on the planet, where you get all of my capping insight and picks on every game in under 30 minutes. No boring gibberish, only the main points that need to be said, and no commercials, just the way we like it. I am the owner of SportsBettingPhenoms.com, better known as the Phenom, World Series of Handicapping champion. I run the only site on the planet where all of our cappers had to go through a rigorous qualifying process, all of which did so with at least a 60% record and unprecedented units of profits. Max lines of only minus 150, along with different tier levels based on each capper's performance, where all results are fully documented from day one. And all of our packages are 100% guaranteed to profit. No one else offers what we do at a more than fair pricing and unprecedented results you simply can't get anywhere else. Okay, folks, I want to apologize about this video being up a little bit late here this week. I'm a bit under the weather, so you'll have to bear with me. I'll get through this, hopefully. Not much to recap last week as we pretty much split, so I'm just going to get right into this week's action. Let's get to it, starting first with your Thursday night affair. Going this evening, Denver and the LA Chargers. And this is going to be part one of two on a teaser for my first of five Money 5 selections. Let's start off here with the Broncos, who are clearly one of the surprises this season, sitting at 9-5, winners of 4 straight, while the Chargers sit at 8-6. And are off 2 straight losses. So I believe the value is clearly on the Broncos here, especially getting points. Problem is, the Sharps have already pounded on the Broncos here in this one, and have taken the line down from plus 3.5 all the way down to 2.5. So all the value is gone. So the only way I can bet on this one now is to tease it. We'll take Denver up to 8.5. And let me also add that, LA has already beaten Denver this season. And we all know how tough it is to beat a team twice in the same season in this league, especially when the teams are so evenly matched up as these two are. So again, let's tease this up with Denver plus 8.5, and I'll have another play to match it up with here upcoming. Next game, Kansas City at home to the Houston Texans, and this is going to be another part one of 2 teaser affairs, and that's going to be my second of 5 Money 5 selections, and this one a rare Saturday night affair, and a good one at that, with Kansas City favored by 4.5. The line is clearly suggesting that Patrick Mahomes is going to play here in this one. And both teams are fighting for a playoff positioning. So this is another clear spot where going with the tease is the smart play. We're going to boost it up 7 points, take Houston up to 11.5. Teams are covering against Kansas City without even having to take the tease. So we're just doing ourselves an added favor by taking the extra points here. Kansas City did get their only cover in I don't know how many weeks last week, but this is going to be a much tougher team for them. Texans here in this one, who need to be moving themselves up the playoff rankings also. So I'll match this Houston play with another one upcoming, so stay tuned for that. Next game, Baltimore at home to Pittsburgh. And this is going to be part 2 of 2, my first official Money 5 selection of Week 16. Okay, so I love Baltimore to win this game outright. And I mentioned earlier season loss to the Steelers, who look like they're going to be without Pickens here in this one. And Watt looks like he's probably going to play, but he's not going to be 100%. This only benefits the Ravens in this spot. But what I don't like is this line of 6. Still pretty high for a rivalry game. And Steelers with Tomlin have owned Jackson over the years. So I'm going to go back here and match Baltimore with the Denver tease that I mentioned to you on the Thursday night pick. We told you we're going to take Denver up to 8.5 in that one. And then we're going to finish off that 2-team 6-point teaser here with Baltimore. So officially, 2-team 6-point teaser with Denver plus 8.5 and Baltimore pick. This is your first official Money 5 selection of Week 16. Next game. And now we're into the Sunday slate. Cleveland and Cincinnati. And this is going to be part 2 of 2 for your other teaser. Your second of 5 official Money 5 selections. Okay, so now on this one, I love Cincinnati to win outright, but I absolutely hate this huge 7.5-point line. Cincinnati hasn't suggested or given us any reason to believe that they are worthy of such high spreads this season. I don't even remember the last time they even covered such a spread. So let's match this play with Houston and finish off that 2-team 7-point teaser. So officially, it's going to be going back to that Houston play, plus 11.5, and then we'll match it up here with Cincinnati, taking it down from 7.5 down to 0.5, and that's your second official Money 5 selection. Next game, Tennessee and Indianapolis. Well, I absolutely hate this game right off the bat. Tennessee, let's face it, sucks and are changing quarterbacks once again. Well, Indianapolis has to win every game down the stretch to have any playoff chance. But no way I'm laying these kind of points with an Indy team that hasn't given us any reason to suggest that they can cover spreads like this. So, very quickly, and in all honesty, why would we even bother? So I'll simply just take a pass on this one. Next game, LA Rams at the New York Jets. Okay, so right as soon as I looked at this line on this one, something didn't smell right. We've got an 8-6 LA Ram team battling for their playoff lives against the 4-10 team in the New York Jets, whose season was done months ago, I think it's fair to say. It's almost as if they're trying to bait us here on this one, aren't they? And baiting us to take the LA Rams. So when something doesn't smell right to me like that, it's just simply best to pass, and that's what we're going to have to do here on this one, folks. Let's see what happens, but again, if it doesn't smell right, just pass. Next game, the New York Giants and Atlanta. And this is yet another part 1 of 2 teaser selections for our third official Money 5 selection. So initially, I really liked Atlanta ATS in this one. But once word came out that Kirk Cousins was getting benched, something that did surprise me. I know he hasn't been playing well, but they did get the win last week, and I think he deserved a chance to at least be in this one to see if he could, step it up once again with not only a win, but maybe even a better performance. So now that that's official, I'm not so sure that Atlanta's the play here, ATS anyways. Now, I do believe Atlanta gets the job done no matter what quarterback will be playing in this one. So just seems like that type of week where teasers are the way to go. we're going to have here then this one, again, as part one of two. Two teams, 7-point teasers, taking Atlanta down from 9.5 down to 2.5, and I'll match them up with another team upcoming. Stay tuned for that. Next game, New England and Buffalo. Well, this is more than likely going to be a huge letdown game for the Bills, coming off that more than impressive win over the Detroit Lions. Not to mention, this is a ton of points, right? To lay. So I believe the best thing to do here is just simply pass. Buffalo is going to win, but are they going to cover this big spread off that game against Detroit? You know England's going to come to play. I'm just not convinced they'll win by this many points, so nothing more to add to that here, and I'm definitely not taking New England, so let's just pass on this one, folks. Next game, Arizona and Carolina. Well, I absolutely hate this game. Arizona doesn't impress me, and even though Carolina had another game to forget last week against the Cowboys, this is simply way too many points to be laying on Arizona, especially on the road. So I'll take a small lean with Carolina here. They're playing much better, even though they didn't have their best game last week. They're playing this season out, doing their best. And again, way too many points for Arizona to be laying on the road. There's no reason to suggest they can handle that kind of spread. And who knows? Carolina might even pull off the upset here, so might even be worthy of sprinkling a little bit on the money line. Again, just a small lean for me officially on Carolina ATS. Next game, Detroit and Chicago. Well, Detroit, for the first time this season, have some major injury concerns. They've been able to, for the most part, get through a lot of these games with those concerns and still pick up the win. But it definitely showed last week against a good Buffalo Bill team. Buffalo Bills winning that game in Detroit. And if you remember the couple, maybe even 2 to 3 weeks prior to that, Detroit were having close wins after pretty much pummeling every team that got in the field with them prior to that. So it's definitely caught up to them, these injury concerns. And I don't think they're going to go away anytime soon. Now they have a division rival in Chicago, who they've already beat this season. It may be the lowly Bears, but a lowly Bears team that definitely can take advantage of this. It's a high spread once again, but it's a rivalry. And I think Chicago is worth a look here. So let's take the Bears. Smartly, if you buy it up to 8.5, you got yourself a hell of a line, win or lose. That is the way to go. Take the Bears. The next game, Philadelphia and Washington. And this is going to be part 2 of 2 for my final teaser Money 5 selection. This will also be your third official Money 5 selection out of the 5 I'll have for you here in Week 16. So for this one, I'm going to match this game up with Atlanta on a 2-team 7-point teaser, taking Washington. So we're going to take Washington from 3.5 up to 10.5. Everyone and their grandmother is on Philadelphia in this one. And they have been, as you can see, as the line has gone up from Philly favored to 2.5. Up to 3.5. But you've got to ask yourself, why was this line 2.5 to begin with? It's kind of odd, isn't it? It's almost like they're trying to bait you into taking Philly to only win by a field goal. So I think we're getting an added bonus here where the line now has been moved by the public all the way up to 3.5. Now we're going to take that all the way up to 10.5 and match it with the desperate Atlanta Falcons team that have to win. So I think we got a hell of a teaser here again in this one. So officially a 2-team 7-point teaser on Atlanta minus the 2.5 and Washington plus the 10.5. This is your third of 5 official Money 5 selections. Next game, Minnesota and Seattle. Well, the big question in this game is if Geno Smith will be playing. If he does, I like a lean here with the Seahawks in this spot. But again, until that is confirmed, there's nothing more I can really add here. You just can't fairly cap a game with that unknown, especially a big unknown like Geno Smith, who is everything to that Seattle team, with his status up in the air. Simply wait it out. And again, if he does end up starting, then it's official lean with the Seahawks. Next game, San Francisco at Miami. And this is going to be your 4th of 5 official Money 5 selection. So anytime you're going to give me the San Francisco 49ers as a dog, I'm going to have to take a look at it. And look at it I did, so much so that I'm going to make it a Money 5 selection. I mean, I'm sure you can all agree with me. Kyle Shanahan is a much better coach than Mike McDaniel. And I believe that this is going to be the difference in this game. They're both 6-8 teams. One who wins will still have a very slight, ever so slight run at the playoffs. And there's just no way anybody's going to be able to convince me that Mike McDaniel is going to be able to beat a Kyle Shanahan coach team in this spot with all that on the line. San Francisco, the play here, and the fact we're getting points to top it all off is just absolutely crazy. You want to make it even that much more stronger? Bump it up to 3.5, folks. And you've got yourself a hell of a solid 4th of 5 official Money 5 selection on the Niners. Next game, Jacksonville and Vegas. And we've now reached our first vomit game of the week. Does anyone even care? I know I don't. And I'm sure all of you don't. So really, nothing on this one. I pass. Next game, and this is my final Money 5 selection, Dallas and Tampa Bay. Okay, so my final selection, Money 5 selection for Week 16 is going to be on Tampa Bay, who is currently firing on all cylinders, winners of 4 straight. Looks like they've got their mojo back ever since Evans came back. Him and Mayfield have been on absolute fire. And they have an easy schedule to end the year, so they could very well end up with an 11-6 mark when all is said and done. Who would have thunk that? I don't think they're going to let Dallas get in the way from making that happen. As we all know, Dallas' season is done. Looks like it was done before it even started. I don't see them having enough left in the tank here to even want to, more or less, be able to keep this one close. So take Tampa Bay, buy it down to 2.5 to almost lock this one up as an absolute perfect play. And you've got your final Money 5 selection of Week 16. Take it to the bank. Next game, and we've now reached our final selection of Week 16. This is your Monday night affair. And how did it even become a Monday night affair? Or how is it not even flexed out of being the Monday night game this week? That's beyond me, but all right, whatever. I mean, bottom line here is Green Bay should crush New Orleans, and most people will be turning off the TV at halftime for this one, getting some early shut-eye. I don't see anything different happening in this game. Now, at the same time, I usually don't like laying double-digit points, but I just don't see anything else happening in this game. I mean, really, what is New Orleans going to throw at this quality Green Bay team in Green Bay? Cold. Outside. New Orleans is a dome team, and they suck. Bottom line, Green Bay crushes New Orleans. I'm not one for taking double-digit favorites, as I said, but I've got to lean towards Green Bay here on this one. Okay, folks, and now to the recap for your Money 5 selections that I gave you for Week 16. And I appreciate you having patience here with me getting through this recording. Again, a bit under the weather here this week. It's been a little tougher than usual to get this done, but I made it. And I hope that you all still were able to take advantage of what the important points I made were in each one of these games. Hopefully be back to normal for next week and have a little bit maybe of a bigger breakdown for the games as we head down to the wire for this season. But for now, let's recap the Money 5 selections that I gave you. I gave you 2 side selections. On Tampa Bay, told you to buy them down to 2.5, and I gave you San Francisco plus 3.5. Love both of those plays. And the other 3 were teasers. Now, it's definitely the week of teasers here. All these teams that were favorites and I'm teasing down, I love to win outright, but I just didn't like the spread. And the dogs, I think, have a chance to win outright, but we're covering ourselves by even raising the extra points. So the first teaser, 2-team 7-point teaser on Atlanta minus 2.5 and Washington up to plus 10.5. The other 7-point 2-team teaser was on Houston plus 11.5 and Cincinnati minus 0.5. And then the final teaser was a 2-team 6-point teaser on Denver plus 8.5 and Baltimore pick. So again, Tampa Bay minus 2.5, San Francisco plus 3.5, 2-team 7-point teaser, Atlanta minus 2.5, Washington plus 10.5, 2-team 7-point teaser, Houston plus 11.5, Cincinnati minus 0.5, and 2-team 6-point teaser, Denver plus 8.5, Baltimore pick. Okay, so that's going to do it for Week 16. I am the Phenom, wishing you all an amazing week. Let's get this money. See ya.